Okay, this is really exciting to be here.
Yes, it is.
Ladies, don't talk until I introduce you.
Are our dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat Kanavos. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Welcome to Dreaming Healing, everyone. I'm your host, Kat Kanavos. My name is Kathleen Kanavos, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. We have an incredible power show for you tonight. We have two guests. We have Lynn Andrews, who's going to be here talking to us about her latest book, which is Acts of Power. And this show is actually a power panel. We have Crystal Pomeroy, who's going to also be with us tonight, and she's going to be talking about her latest book. And then I have a real surprise for you. Teresa Velarde, who is the host of Conversations That Make a Difference, is going to come in and actually co-host with me. You know, I always love it when I have a co-host. And she said, you know what, I'd love to come on your show tonight and just kind of co-host with you because you've got an incredible panel. And I thought, you know, that is so fantastic because it brings a different perspective to the show. And I always love that. So if you are only listening right now and you'd like to see this show, because the show is live, so anything that happens during the show, it's live, and we just go with that flow. So if you're only listening and you'd like to watch, go to my website, thequeenofdreams.com. That's the, make sure you put the in there, thequeenofdreams.com. That's easier than remembering KathleenO'KeefeCanvas.com. And if you look in the upper right-hand corner, just click on that little button that says Dreamvisions 7 Radio, and it'll take you to my website on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. And you'll see my picture, my website, and you'll see a little TV set with an antennae off of it. Click on that TV set, and it'll bring you right to the show right now, tonight. And you'll be able to see the archives from there as well. You'll see a little sign that says archives. Click on that and you can go back and see all the other shows we've done. So welcome to the panel of inspiration that has just become the Power Panel. But before we start our show, we want to start with our clearing and protection meditation. So those of you who are new to my show, if you're driving in your car right now and listening on the radio, do not close your eyes. This will still work, okay? And you can always go back and watch the archive. What we're going to do is we are going to take in 3 deep breaths, and we're going to hold them, and we're going to let any negativity pop into that breath of life, and we're going to blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it's going to get converted into positive energy and return to the universe. And then we're going to imagine holding our power gift. It can be a gift that a loved one gave you. It can be your favorite stone, your favorite flower, your favorite color, anything you want. It can be your car, because we're just going to imagine it being in our hand. And we're going to create a mirrored bubble around us that's only going to allow that which is of the highest and best to come in. Okay? Our guests are going to be doing it with us too. So you're going to be able to watch all of the guests because this is a panel show. So all the guests are on all of the show all the time. You get to watch them in all of the windows. So you're always being watched, audience. Guests. The audience is always there watching what you're doing. So all ready? Okay, when you're ready, just kind of sit deep in your chair. Just kind of get yourself comfortable. Move your shoulders, relax, relax, roll your head, relax, and take a deep breath in. Imagine filling up your lungs. Hold it. Imagine any negativity is getting caught into that breath of life and blow it out across the room. Empty your lungs. Deep breath in. Hold it. Imagine maybe anything that you said to someone this week that was negative, kind of hurtful, getting caught in that breath of light, that forgiveness. Blow it out across the room. One more time, deep breath in. Imagine something someone said to you that was hurtful, maybe this week, maybe last month, last year, last lifetime. Getting caught in that breath of life. Blow it across the room. Right into the purple flame of Saint Germain. And imagine it turning into beautiful golden light and returning to the universe. That way we don't litter with our negativity. Now imagine holding your power gift and use it to swing around your body and create that mirrored bubble. Only that which is of the highest and best and brought by our spirit guides may come into that bubble. Anything else is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, open your eyes. If you're having trouble regrounding, if you went really deep, put your fingertips together and press 3 times. 2, 3. These are isometrics. Put your fingertips together and pull 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Feel yourself just ground right into your body. Welcome, everybody. You know, we all need inspiration. We all need, a little help from our friends. And we've got it tonight. We have an incredible lineup of guests for you. And what if that inspiration were right at our fingertips every single day of every single year? Oh, what a dream come true that would be. So during this show, we're going to discuss inspiration, what it means to be inspired, and how we can tap into that daily. And Teresa Velarde will be coming on momentarily, but the first thing I'd like to do is invite Lynn Andrews, who is a New York Times and internationally best-selling author of the Medicine Women series, to tell us a little bit about her. So I'm not talking anymore. So welcome to the show, Lynn. Tell us about yourself.
Well, thank you so much, Kathleen. That's lovely to be here. In 3 words or less, I've written a book called Acts of Power, which I think it's my 21st book, maybe. I've written a lot.
21 books.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing for me also. And I have a course that I give in writing. It's so amazing to see people, all of us, have incredible stories. Certainly, I do. I started this journey when I was about 6 years old. We lived in Eastern Washington at the time, and I would ride to school on my Pinto pony along with my best friend, Beverly, who was Native American. And from the time that I knew her, and I would sometimes spend the night with her and so forth. And her family lived in a hogan. And
Goodness.
yeah, it was amazing. In a hogan with a dirt floor that was as clean as any floor that you can imagine. And I started by realizing that the Catholic school that I was going to and loved, I'm not Catholic, but I chose to go to Catholic school because they always had a chapel and you could pray in that chapel. And I have loved the spaces that are created in a sacred way for the rest of my life. And I have been writing about them in one way or another. I think on this show and you and the people who are graced to be on here, create their sacred space around them. You live within that sacred space. And you keep it clean and lovely and filled with creative thought, which is something that I try to do every day of my life. And it's a difficult thing. I like to get up in the morning and do what you do to wake up. And then I like to just be thoughtful. So that's why I wrote this book, Acts of Power, because it is delineated in every day of the year. And you turn to the day that you're in, and it gives you a thought, a reason for living, something that is maybe something you wouldn't think of on your own. And you read that, and it gives you inspiration, perhaps, or maybe you don't agree with it. But it creates movement. And I think enlightenment, which we are all looking for, going towards, comes from the movement on the sacred wheel, manifestation in the south to spirit in the north, and back and forth.
I love that, Lynn. That is really beautiful. I love the way you put that all into perspective, and it made it really powerful. So Crystal Pomeroy, I would like for you to tell us a little bit about you and your book and the power, because remember, this is the power panel and it's all about inspiration. So how does your message and your book fit into that?
Okay, well, I loved how Lynn got us up the hook saying 3 minutes or less, or 3 words or less. In my case, I was actually not planning on having healing or spiritual growth facilitation be professional activities. I wanted to be a civil rights lawyer, I thought. And but my mother, who was this incredible astrologer, scientist, just really actually a genius and very sensitive, shared with me metaphysical knowledge from the time I was a child, including the basics of Jungian dream interpretation. She taught me how to do charts, astrological charts, when I was 12, and started teaching me about manifestation. I think she gave me my first Lynn Andrews book, which was, I really admire Lynn. I mean, I think there are very few women that are like this sort of topic that don't. And so this was just like an activity that I enjoyed. And I had my own positive prayer practice, and I was able to study with Joseph Campbell when I was a child. I mean, because of the contact that my mother opened me to. But it wasn't until I was in my early 20s when I was confronted with an extreme health crisis for a friend that I actually started really diving more deeply into the spiritual knowledge that I had had through my teachers and through books. And when at the beginning, and I think this relates to inspiration, because I spent many years in which I could not make a prayer without a book. I mean, as long as I had books around, and I have fortunately have had really great books, and I love physical books. I
You read
much
Lynn's
prefer
books?
do, yeah. And I my they look like, I mean, maybe there's going to be a point in which somebody's going to defend books' rights, and mine have definitely been abused by having pages folded and written on and stuff. I love them, and I get very deep in with them. And but I couldn't come up with an affirmation or a prayer myself until I had been through many years of working with the tools that I had like this. And then something happened. There was, I think, some sort of inner threshold was crossed over. And this has to do with inspiration, actually, even though it's not as lovely as what Lynn described so poetically about her contact with the nature and Native Americans and sacred spaces from a very early age. But when it comes to angels, and this is really interesting, I've got my book here, Angels and Goddesses. Each archangel has, of the 7 archangels, there are different systems of archangels. I focus on the system of 7 archangels here. And they have different colors. And actually, Lynn is in yellow. I'm not accosting you, Lynn. You're inspiring to me. And this yellow gold color she's got is actually the color of the archangel of inspiration, which is Hophiel. And each of the archangels has a divine complement, and his is named Constance. And the complement is like the feminine side of the archangel. And so it's an archetypal connection they have. And so Hophiel is about inspiration, is about our light path, is about creativity and intellectual success. And he's very connected. They're both very connected to Sarasvati, who's also a goddess of wisdom, and to Athena, who's a goddess of wisdom and confidence. And they, in the case of Constance, we're getting this reminder. And I love the names of the archangels' complements, because each name, like in the case of Constance, is reminding us of some qualities that relate to, in this case, inspiration. So the dedication of having a daily practice or daily discipline of whatever it is you like, showing up for that connection is actually underrated, and can bring us to a place when we make the effort that it takes, when we open the books, when we write our thoughts, when we use our prayers, when we light our candles, when we call on light beings and spirit guides, when we take courses, when we make that effort to have the space open, not just say, oh, I like spirituality or I like creativity, but really actively make a space for it in our lives in a constant kind of way, then the inspiration ends up becoming a continual connection. In my case, like right now, I vomit affirmations. I mean, they ask, I give all kinds of treatments, healing treatments. And if somebody asks me for an affirmation on something, it just kind of spews forth. But that came in my case out of some time in work. And now I discover that if I call on Constance and Hophiel, I can make a quicker connection.
Can you give us an affirmation right now about dreams?
Sure. For instance, deep within, I already know what I need to about this situation, and am perceiving it clearly tonight while I sleep.
Oh, I love that. So Teresa, yeah, let's bring Teresa in so that she can jump into this party with us. This is an all-girls party tonight. How cool is this? Teresa Party is the host of Conversations That Make a Difference on Dreamvisions 7 radio network. And now that she knows who you lovely ladies are, it'd be great if we could take this party over to her show as well. Continue partying there. Mm-hmm. So Teresa, tell my audience a little bit about you, and I'm going to let you start. Well, actually, when we come back from the break, because after you introduce yourself, we're going to have to go to break. But when we come back from break, I'm going to let you ask them their first questions. And I have no idea what she's going to ask. So Teresa, tell us about you.
I don't have any idea either just yet, but I'm sure it will come to me. So I am the host of Conversations That Make a Difference, as Kat said. And I talk about so many things. I am a very diverse host when it comes to topics, and we've been having some really good conversations that'll make the difference in the lives of people who are going through traumatic things during this time in the world today, which I'm feeling really blessed to be a part of, by the way. As much as it's a roller coaster ride of emotions, I know that I'm here for a reason. So I'm also a ceramic artist. I'm a potter, and I am a publisher. And actually, Kat and I have a book company called Lynn V Books, and we help people get their stories told in books. I also have children's books that I'm working on, not my own, but other people's. And I am an author, a best-selling author. I've written in numerous anthologies. I appreciate these daily, I have your book, Lynn. I appreciate these daily, I call them devotionals, because that's the time that I choose to spend in the morning is devotional time. And I'm more involved in scripture and bringing that to life in my world. But everybody has their way. Everybody has their way. And I hold space for anyone who has a plan. And I agree that there is a need for people to make that time, that special time in the first part of the day, a priority in their life, because it's from there that all the creativity comes, I believe. So yeah, I'm a creative person, and I just love conversations. So I'm glad that I'm here tonight to be part of this one. I have a feeling it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to let Kat take us out to the break.
Yes, we've got to take a break, everyone. We've got just a few seconds. And before we go to this break, because my audience is a younger audience and they will research you during the break, they do that. So Lynn, how can our listeners and our watchers of this program find you?
I have a website. Excuse me. I've also got an allergy to something huge and yellow right outside of my office. So hopefully I'm not going to lose my voice in a conversation. What did you ask me?
Your website.
What?
How can our audience find you? What's your website?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Lynn Andrews Productions.com, LynnAndrewsAuthor.com. And you can go to my website, which is Lynn Andrews Productions. And I have many, many books, the Medicine Woman series, that are autobiographical about my life.
We need to go to a break, Lynn. So I want
at the end of the books, you can always find my address. Thank you.
So Crystal, how can we find you during the break?
Crystal Pomeroy, my website, it has my name, and on Facebook also, Crystal Pomeroy, author and healer.
And that's CrystalPomeroy.
That's
Don't
right, Kat.
We'll be right back.
Can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat Kanavos, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Omega Institute, offering workshops, retreats, and online learning dedicated to awakening the best in the human spirit. For over 40 years, Omega has seen more than 1 million people come through its doors to grow, learn, and find a greater sense of purpose. With over 350 workshops to choose from, Omega offers something for everyone. Located in Rhinebeck, New York, just 90 miles north of New York City, Omega's natural environment and quiet pace allow for extraordinary experiences to unfold. Learn more at eomega.org or call 877-944-2002. Again, 877-944-2002.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland: Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland: Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke, forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeKanavos.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
This is Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back, everyone. You are watching or listening to Dreaming Healing on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. And I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. My co-host tonight is Teresa Velarde, who's also a host on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network, and she is the host of Conversations That Make a Difference. And our two guests tonight are Crystal Pomeroy, who is the author of Angels and Goddesses. And you notice my little blue thing in here? Yeah, I'm going to ask her something about that's in her book that just, touched my heart. And our other guest is Lynn Andrews. And for those of you who may not be watching it and can't see their name spelled, or you're just listening, it's LYNNANDREWS, if you want to look her up. And we have her book with us as well, Acts of Power, Daily Teachings for Inspired Reading or Inspired Living, and you can read it too. And I'm going to be asking her about some of the things that are in her book because they're pretty amazing. So we have the power panel tonight. And just before break, I told you Teresa Velarde was going to be coming back after the break with the first questions for our guests. So take it away, Teresa.
Okay, so Lynn, my question for you is, as I open this book and I look at the list of the books that you said you had written 21 books in total, the first one is Medicine Woman. You shared in your introduction that you were very young when you started writing. When did you write Medicine Woman? And is this autobiographical for yourself, or did you take some of the traditions from your friend who is Native American?
Well, I wrote that book, I think it was published in 1981.
Wow.
And I wrote that in the late 70s. And I had been working with and a student of or apprentice of Agnes Whistling Elk and Ruby Plenty Chiefs, who are two Native American women who are extraordinary women of high degree.
Okay.
And they taught me about what it takes to let go of things that no longer serve you, the ideas, the practices that we all gather in this life from other people and from ourselves, our own perhaps perceptions that need to be corrected or used in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been one heck of a journey. I was living in Beverly Hills, a long ways away from any reserve, Native Americans certainly. And I realized that I had to write this because I teach my people, I have clients daily, and I tell them, follow your dream. Write down or record your dream so that you know how you've progressed. Dreams are, of course, a very difficult path to follow because they mean so many different things, and it forces you almost to look at yourself and say, wait a minute, I haven't even gone into that place within myself, whether some may be dark place that maybe we're afraid of, things like jealousy or envy or fears of maybe even the night. People have incredible fears that in a way subliminally drive their lives. And you have to heal something. First of all, you have to say, yes, this is an issue with me. Yeah. And okay, so then what do? How do you really heal that? And that's what Agnes and Ruby and the Sisterhood of the Shields have taught me over the years. They have taught me how to take a hold of something and traverse that landscape in a way that brings you closer to awareness, higher awareness, even enlightenment, depending on what it is. And it's difficult to admit that we all have issues that are they can be hugely difficult to face and move through. So how do you do that? That's what I teach people.
And you taught them that in your book. I mean, that what you're talking about is right.
Yeah, so that you can maybe you're hugely busy and you're a lawyer in New York City. They would say to me, how in the world can I study this? I can't go off to somewhere and study nature, for instance. And excuse me, it's that allergy.
We'll break in a second here, and we're going to talk to Crystal at that time. You can
exactly.
Voice. So Crystal, go ahead. Teresa, you want to ask Crystal a question?
Crystal, and when you introduced yourself, you mentioned about the angels, and I'm assuming that you use the archangels. The archangels work with you in your work. Is that true?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
My field is a combination of spiritual science, and I have my own method that I call vibrational science, but it's compatible with spiritual science, science of mind, and all these other kinds of scientific approaches to our perception and mind work and using our beliefs, transmuting them, combined with light beings.
Yes.
And it brings up, for me personally, I was already a mind healer with really great success, with all kinds of different cases. I mean, I can literally take away pain in a few minutes, even for a large group of people, and through using mind principles. And then when I started getting more deeply into the connections with light beings, it's amazing. It's like they're right there to help us with a lot of things that normally seem a little bit elusive, or it takes, it's hard to get the guidance that we want, or to get the kind of intensity or concentration that we want in prayer. And the angels and other light beings are right there in the subtle realms. And when we consciously connect with them, it makes a really dramatic difference. It precipitates a new level of efficacy and power. And they work for all kinds of things. Like each of the 7 archangels relates to a color from the rainbow, and it relates to numerous goddesses too, which was something that I was fascinated to discover when I had found out that each archangel related to a series of spiritual principles, like Zadkiel, who's the purple archangel, relates to transmutation, forgiveness, those to the purple light that you were talking about in the meditation, and the gold light that alchemizes that energy that you threw into the purple light, to alchemy, to the prayer spaces Lynn had mentioned, these sacred spaces that create an atmosphere that's apt for that kind of divine connection. These are all things that relate to Zadkiel, and Archangel Michael relates to our faith and our empowerment, our authority in prayer, because it's really important. It makes a really big difference in the results. If we feel that we are this powerful being, if we know that, and that we're coming in the name of love, and that we are authorized by omnipotent good to transmute appearances and so forth. So each archangel has a different series of specialties and their companion goddesses, which are much more than could fit in this book. I mean, they're companion goddesses, but I put in certain goddesses related to each archangel, which was this other layer of knowledge that I came across as I got into studying the symbols of each archangel. You start seeing all these goddess symbols that are related to the archangels, and then looking around the world at different cultures, one finds their roots in these goddess traditions. And so those energies that were there before institutional religion are still available in the subtle realms. And when we connect with them, it really jumpstarts our results of our inner work.
Yeah, I hear you there. And the question that when you said something about religion just now, I'm wondering, do a lot of people associate angels strictly with religious texts? So how does somebody who is open to angelic work take that, I'm going to call it a leap of faith, if you will, to know that the angels can be powerful and part of your work, whether or not you have a particular structured religious belief?
Well, I think just by trying the connection, we get some amazing results. I mean, and the difference. And I like to bring in some technology from these ancient traditions, spiritual technology that makes a big difference too, because from the same standpoint that you were mentioning, Teresa, about how angels are sort of considered churchy, they're connecting with them is often like limited to visualization and invocations. And there are a lot of other ways of connecting with them. And for instance, if we want to protect a space, inviting Michael and his divine complement faith and their companion goddesses, or companion divine essences, you can call them. I mean, you can use universal language, and the angels will respond to that. I mean, they don't care, if we get the names mixed up and call Raphael Robert or whatever. I mean, they're just there to help. And so when, like, if we fill our space, like starting with our living room and then moving into all the other spaces with a field of blue light, and as we invite these particular I call them Michaelic, Michael and colleagues beings into those spaces, then the vibration is going to shift, and there will be a protective field that's going to tend to release the space from low vibrational energies. And a lot of these native traditions, they inform our current practice, and particularly Western practice, which can be kind of lineal and sort of dry with the, just repeating words and calling on and asking them to do things. And we combine some other kinds of spiritual technology like this, and it becomes a lot more dynamic, and we get great results.
Interesting. Kat, I have a question for you in relation to what Lynn said about dreams. How do you feel about what she said about dreams and how you can orchestrate that? And then I'm going to turn it back to you, the host seat.
Well, I think that our dreams are powerful. And, Lynn was talking about how, our dreams are an important part of our intuition. I think that's actually in her book. I remember reading where your dreams are part of your intuition, and intuition is important. And I just did a big article on Desert Health Magazine about dream incubation, where if you've got a problem, you write your problem down, you describe what that challenge is, write it on a piece of paper, put it under your pillow and incubate it, and you will get power information in your dreams. You will get inspired direction from your dreams. So I'm actually getting, as you're seeing me look down, I'm getting all these questions that are coming in. So I want to start with the first one with Crystal. Crystal, a question came in that says, archangels fascinate me, but I've never heard of any women angels. Is there one that I didn't realize existed? I would like to be able to call her out in name to help me with some issues she would understand better than a man.
That's a great question. In terms of the archangels, they have their masculine and their feminine side, just like human beings do. So we say like the divine complement of an archangel is like his feminine side. And besides that, some people consider Archangel Gabriel to be a feminine angel, but there are angels for everything. I mean, if somebody believes there's a female Michael, then that's going to open a quantum space into which we're going to start getting that kind of an expression. Because when we talk about the invisible realm, the possibilities expand and multiply. And what I would suggest her doing is calling on the angel that supports feminine empowerment, like in those words, because there are angels for everything. Like there's an angel for your program, for your radio program. There are light beings that are particularly connected with everything we do, with our projects, with the place that we live, and so forth. And we can call on those guardians or those beings, and they will respond. Specifically, Simhamuka is a goddess related to Archangel Michael, who is a pre-Buddhist ancient Tibetan goddess, a tantric goddess, who is really something. She's so strongly protective. She's connected with felines, and so indirectly with Jaguar woman. And her energy is this ferocious protective energy, but she transmutes dark forces into compassion, and she will cut away limiting ideas that we have about ourselves, limiting beliefs, and clear out areas, transmute bad vibrations into compassion. And this is also partly an answer to Teresa, because you were asking, like, what if we're skeptical? Well, try calling on Simhamuka and ask her to fill up your space with her blue light. She's also, one of her facets is blue, like Michael's. She has a lot of things in common with him. And ask her to transmute any opposing or negative energies into compassion. That's her specialty. And you will palpably feel a difference in the energy of that space. And if you've got some difficult personalities in your space, they will also, something will happen for that to readjust. And so the results of a little bit of angelic requesting are quite amazing. But those are two goddess angel energies that I would suggest calling on.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've got to take another break. We're right up against another hard break, but when we come back, we're going to be asking Lynn Anderson a question. A question came in and the question is, what is a medicine wheel? And they want to know what that is. So when we come back from the break, we're going to ask Lynn Andrews to explain the medicine wheel to our audience. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
That every word you speak matters. What you say and how you say it can make or break a relationship or shift the outcome of any situation. Are your conversations making a difference? Faith in God, gratitude, authenticity, and giving are Teresa Velarde's heart. It's in this spirit that she's focused on making a difference in the lives she's blessed to touch. Conversations That Make a Difference is now on syndicated Dreamvision 7 radio network every Tuesday at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with live call-in shows every first and third Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times bestselling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, Chaos to Clarity, and Crappy to Happy, you'll love crying and laughing through Mayhem to Miracles. Sacred Stories of Transformational Hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to Happy, Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Kanavos. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide.
This is Dreamvision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to the last segment of our show. This show is just flying. It's going so fast because it is so very, very interesting. So this last section is the shortest one. So if we could, let's keep our answers a little shorter because we're going to run out of time really, really fast on it. Lynn, just before we went to break, someone sent in a question just for you. And it was, what is a medicine wheel? I heard of that term a lot when I lived in Oklahoma. Still not sure if it's just an imaginary image or an actual wheel.
Thank you for that question, because it's very important. I think when we are talking about the abstract in the sense of prayer and enlightenment and awareness, it helps to have a way of seeing that, actually seeing it. So the medicine wheel is north and south, west and east. And you sit in the center of that wheel, and you may ask a question. Should I marry this person? Should I write a book? What am I going to do with my life? And if you're a young person and you look to the south on the medicine wheel, there's a voice that comes through you. I don't care who you are. It comes when you ask. And when you ask from your heart, from your soul, from the truth of who you are. And it will say, gee, you're an artist, you're a writer. Explore that. And you might say, well, my parents feel that I can't make a living or support a family doing that, doing something artistic. And then you go up to the west, and the south is substance, manifestation of the physical. Forgot to tell you that. And then you go up to the west, which is the sacred dream. And you ask Great Spirit, what is, I had a dream that I wanted to be a celebrated author, perhaps, or an actor, perhaps, and be celebrated, or whatever. Or I wanted to be a brilliant business person. Whatever comes to you in the West is coming from the sacred dream. And the sacred dream is part of the ongoing circumstance of your lifetimes, if you believe in that. I'm not asking you to do one thing or another. I'm just saying that that's my experience, that we do learn from lifetime one to another. And each time we come in to this earth walk, I do believe that we have certain things that we have to learn about. We need to learn about how to feel strength in the path that you chose, how to feel secure, how to love, and what does love mean. You can't just use words. You have to see what the experience of love really is. And then you go to the East, you're still working on what am I going to do with my life, say, as an example. Mm-hmm. And East, in the East is the old wise one. And you talk to her and you ask her, okay, is what I want to do with my life rational? Does it make any sense for me? And old wise one, you know me, you know who I am. And old wise one will say, well, if you wanted to be a writer, I would say you need to find something else, because old wise one might know that you don't have any ability. Or if you want to be an artist, she might say, hey, I understand you want to do that, but there are other things that you could do that you're much, much better at. And you can develop a facility with something else, say being a lawyer, or whatever it is that you choose, whatever it is that your sacred wheel tells you. The sacred wheel is like your consciousness, but you can't define your consciousness. You can define the effect of consciousness, the effect of love, but you can't define love. You can define the process of how you get there, perhaps, or the things that frighten you. You can describe that. So that's such a huge subject, the sacred wheel. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of presenting to the world your perception, your truth, what you have learned, and how it affects other people. You begin to have a facility with the sacred wheel of very quickly being able to help someone just by putting their desires, say, on the sacred wheel. You could go through it with them and they see it, and they see it in a new way, perhaps, that they've never perceived it before. That is about healing.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry,
No,
healing.
That is amazing. Is there one book in particular that you've written that somebody might be able to find that information in?
My first book was Medicine Woman, which kind of tells you how I, a woman in Beverly Hills, suddenly is changing her life and learning from Native American people, particularly these two women. But the second book,
were you actually learning using a sacred wheel?
The second book, which I called Flight of the Seventh Moon, and my publisher decided to change the title to Spirit Woman. And whatever, it's a wonderful book with really detailed information about different aspects. It talks about shields. Shields are so important. It talks about ceremony and all the things that dreaming, things that you're curious about. But all the books talk about this from different ways.
We've actually come to the end of our show. I know this last section goes so quickly. So, before we run out of time, I really wanted to thank Crystal Pomeroy and Lynn Andrews for being with us today, and also Teresa Velarde for co-hosting with me. It made for such a fabulous show because we all bring something different to the table that way. And so for our audience, what my takeaway from this show today is inspiration is an act of power that helps us discover and empower our own importance. And by inspiring others, we share those acts of power. So again, I want to thank the three of you for being on the show with us today. And again, you can go to my website on Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network and learn more about the books and the incredible women on this show. Before we run out of time, which is just like a couple of minutes here, I want everyone to know that if you would like to know more about Dream Incubation, it's going to be in Desert Health Magazine out here in Rancho Mirage, California, where I am. I'm a columnist in there. And you can get that online. Not only is it going to be in all the grocery stores and everything, but you can actually look up deserthealthmagazine.com and pull up my article on Dream Incubation. And my Unmask Your Dreams workshop is on Sunday, April 21st at Unity of Santa Barbara. Until next time, everyone, thank you. Remember, everybody dreams.
Thank you for joining us this evening. And a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat Kanavos. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dreamvisions 7 Radio Network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeCanavos.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS. Or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.